Are we rolling? Okay. Hey, it's Reece, and in my board bag, I've got an entire quiver of boards for different purposes, different conditions, different wind speeds, and I've got a couple of pretty cool prototype kites made out of Alula. I've got kind of 3 or 4 different board shapes that I go to for depending on the conditions, really, depending on whether I'm in the surf, whether I'm doing freestyle. So I'll just jump right into it with this guy, because this was the original one here. This board is called the Jester, and it's got a really flat rocker line to it, so it's really fast. It's really good in like flat water. It's really good in like medium-sized chop, and I really like this guy for freestyle in like lighter winds. So light to medium winds, I go to freestyle with this. All right, so on to the next one. One thing you'll notice about my boards is that they all look pretty much the same at first glance, although they are quite different actually. But the goal of it is that I'm able to easily hop between boards without having to adjust how I'm riding too much. So if I want to go from the Jester for freestyle onto this board, which is mainly what I'm using in the surf right now, it's called the Crave, I don't have to adjust my riding style. It doesn't take long to hop from one board to the next. The goal is to have consistency between the shapes and cover a large range of conditions. So this board here is the Creep, and I originally designed this board as a board that was to be used in like heats where you're doing freestyle and waves in the same heat. So for basically silt, this is what I rode in silt, because we were in the surf and we were doing freestyle in the same heat, and that way I don't have to go in and change boards. And so it's got a very fast flat tail rocker, and then up on the nose there's a lot of nose rocker for in the surf. So it's got like a really fast tail for freestyle, and then a lot of nose rocker so you don't dig the nose in the surf. All right, so this one, again, I don't even have a name for this one yet, but so the Creep kind of evolved from the Jester, and now I'm taking the Creep and I'm evolving it back towards the Jester for more of a freestyle board for higher winds, which is the goal of this one here. And this is actually the second board that I've made on my surfboard shaping machine, which I built over the last year during COVID. So it's a little bit rough, but I think it'll be good enough to test out the shape. And the goal of this one is to kind of take the rail shapes of the Creep, which are very rounded and they like to grip to the water, and put those into a freestyle board so I can really load it up a lot before I pop. Because I find with a really sharp rail, when you're really powered up, it's really hard to hold that in because it's trying to release the water. So I put a nice round rail on this thing. I took the rocker from the Creep and I flattened it out a little bit, but I kept a lot of nose flip in this board for landing really fast in really choppy conditions so you don't nosedive. And that's about it. So there you go, 3 boards for 3 different purposes. I've got a kind of light wind freestyle board. I've got a wave board for like mixed conditions, and then I've got a high wind freestyle board, or I'm hoping what will be a high wind freestyle board, but this is just the first version of it. So yeah, and then obviously I've got pure wave boards at home that I'm working on too, but I didn't bring those here because I don't need them. So yeah, when I travel to an event, I usually bring 7 or 8 different kites with me, sometimes up to 10, but it basically depends where I'm going. For here in Europe, for silt and Vita Sanda, I brought a quiver of, I think I brought a 7 meter, 8 meter, 9 meter, 10 meter, and a 12 meter Crave, which is kind of like my wave kite slash freestyle all-rounder. I basically use it all the time. And then I also brought a couple of prototype Alula kites, like this is the Rise behind me, which is a big air kite that Ocean Rodeo's been working on for the past couple years. And it's just like a full Alula jumping machine, which I've actually started to really like for freestyle as well. And then I also brought a 14 meter Alula flight just in case there's no wind, because I can ride in basically nothing with that. So 8 to 10 kites. So yeah, I'm Reece Myerscough again, and that's kind of what I've got going on my quiver right now. A little breakdown. I hope you enjoyed it.